Hi everybody, this is Lily here at Lily English. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at conditionals. I will be going through the different forms and uses of the zero, first, second and third conditionals with you. And I will be giving you plenty of example sentences for each one. Conditionals are a really important part of the English language, and people often get confused by the various forms and mix them up. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, the conditionals will be clear in your head and you will be able to use them correctly. So let's start with the zero conditional. The zero conditional is used to talk about facts and truths. We form this conditional by using if plus simple present and then simple present. Here are some examples of the zero conditional. If you eat too much junk food, you gain weight. If you stay too long in the sun without any sunscreen on, you burn. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. If you mix red and white, you get pink. My favorite color. Can you think of any more examples for the zero conditional? If you can, please write them in the comments below and I will check them. So moving on to the first conditional. We use this to talk about possible future situations. The form of the first conditional is if plus simple present, will plus infinitive. For example, if I go to the beach this weekend, I'll take a swim in the sea. If I see him, I will tell him you called. If I have time later, I'll give you a hand. If I finish the project by Friday, I will be over the moon. Once again, if you can think of any example sentences for the first conditional, feel free to write them below. So now the second conditional. We use the second conditional to talk about highly unlikely or hypothetical situations, and we also use it to give advice. We make the second conditional by using if plus simple past and then would plus infinitive. Some examples of the second conditional are as follows. If I had more time, I would help you. If I won the lottery, the first thing I would do is buy a new car. If you ate more healthily and did more exercise, I'm sure you would lose weight. If I were you, I would tell him the truth. So how about the third conditional? Now this one is a little trickier, so it will take time to get used to this structure and use it correctly. We use the third conditional to talk about past actions that cannot be changed. So the way that we form the third conditional is if plus past perfect, would have plus past participle. We cannot change the past, so when we use the third conditional, we are technically talking about impossible situations. Here are some examples. If I had studied harder for my exams, I'm pretty sure that I would have passed them all. If you had told me that there was a party last night, I would have gone. If I hadn't drunk so much on Friday night, I wouldn't have had such a splitting headache on Saturday morning. If I had told him the truth, he wouldn't have been so angry with me. If I had tried the dress on first, I wouldn't have bought it. Also remember that with conditionals, the two clauses can be switched. For example, instead of saying, if I had more time, I would help you, you could say, I would help you if I had more time. Remember that if you start the conditional with the if clause, you need to put a comma. But if you switch the two clauses, you don't need to put a comma. For example, I would help you if I had more time doesn't need a comma. These are the basic rules when it comes to conditionals. Of course, we can use different modal verbs instead of will or would. For example, we could use going to instead of will, and we could use could or might instead of would. Also, instead of if, we can use other time references, such as when, as soon as, or unless. For example, I will let you know as soon as I arrive in Paris. So now I'm going to give you some sentence halves, and I would like you to try to complete them with your own example of a conditional. I will mix the conditionals up, so think about the form that you need to use in the second clause. Number 1, unless you help me. Number 2, if I could speak English fluently. Number 3, if she hadn't spent all of her money. Number 4, if you don't water your houseplants. Number 5, if I practice my English more often. So were you able to come up with some interesting conditionals there? I'm sure that you were. Please, please, please feel free to leave your conditional sentences in the comments section below. I will check them, and if I see that anybody has made any mistakes, I will make corrections where necessary. So please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and also subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram at Lily_English UK, and I have also recently set up a Facebook page. I will post the link to all of my pages below. Below, I have also included some useful sites for you to practice the conditionals. Practice makes perfect. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye!